Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone, and welcome to today's session. And Jazakallah khair for taking the time of your busy evenings. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, inshallah. I'm just going to click on mute so we don't get any disturbance. طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. طيب. Okay, so welcome everyone to the orientation week, the first session of our orientation program. My name is Awais, and I am one of the teachers at Al-Ihsan Institute. I also teach at Al-Sirat College in Melbourne. So yeah, alhamdulillah, I'll be running today's session, inshallah. And let's go through and start the session. It shouldn't take too long. It won't take the whole hour. But we should be finished, inshallah, much before 8:30, hopefully. So I'll cover the following topics, inshallah. A little bit of an introduction to the actual institute, who we are, how we started, and why we started, how we came about, and what we do. And the Alim course in particular, the Alimiyah program. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Obviously, because you're all interested in it and you're all applied and enrolled in it. So I'll speak about that as well, inshallah. And then we will speak about some of the subjects that are involved. As you know, you probably haven't seen the syllabus or the prospectus or the curriculum document. So in this session, I'll try to give you a bit of detail, a little bit of a closer look into some of the subjects, inshallah. The books and the next steps, and then after that, if anyone has any questions, you can ask, inshallah. Okay. Just before we begin, just a request, because this session and the remaining sessions this week, we've actually organized it in a way where the men and the women students are all in one session. So because this is not a webinar per se, this is a Zoom meeting, so you have the ability to turn the camera off, but camera on. But if I can just request, please leave your cameras off, inshallah. Right. So Al-Ihsan Institute is pretty much a product of some brothers wanted to had some zeal and some desire to study Arabic back in the end of 2015 and towards 2016. So what we used to do back then was, because we obviously had studied in a madrasa and graduated, from Darul Uloom. So what we did was we helped our friends and we would teach these guys part-time from one brother's room. So one brother, he actually allocated one of his rooms to just for us to come there and teach him and another friend. So this went on for several months, which turned into a year. And then once that year was complete, we finished one or two books of Arabic. And what happened was they spread the word to some other of their family members and friends as well, which turned into 5-6 people. So like this, we taught. Now we occupied one bedroom and then a lounge room as well. At this point, we taught like this, for another year. So we were in that house for about 2 years, teaching, the kitabs and teaching Arabic 2-3 nights a week. After that, what happened was we, subhanallah, another year after another year went by, the word spread even further, and more brothers were interested to study, and they, requested that we teach them as well. So now we have what you call a third batch as well. Then we went into a physical space, an actual shop front. So we got a proper, not a proper place, but a place which is not, at least it's not a house, So we were there for 2-3 years, and mashallah, it actually grew, and we, even that space was at capacity. And then after that, it was COVID, and then at that point we thought, we should maybe we should just formalize what we're doing, and maybe turn it into something. I mean, if so many people are coming without us spreading the word, maybe there's some sort of need or demand out there for amongst brothers at this point to study the deen, for those, especially for those who aren't able to, due to working full time or studying university during the day, and so on and so forth. So that's what we did. We Al-Ihsan Institute was formed this way. We, it had a name, and whatever goes into making an organization. We formalized it, and then after that, COVID, we had to leave that space. We went online, and all of a sudden, online has its challenges. Now we have to learn about making a website, and we have to learn about different things, what onboarding students online, and training people, and so on and so forth, and getting new teachers. But in a nutshell, this is how we started, and here we are today. Last year we made the decision to officially start a female program as well. So now there's a Al-Ihsan men's as well as Al-Ihsan women's Alima program as well. Both running the same syllabus, both part-time, just different hours. And obviously the female program is taught completely by women, by female graduates. So this is the thing. We actually want to make ilm is something which should be, we believe, if we're making life easy, if we're making so many aspects of our life so easy using technology, with just our voice, I can switch my light on or off. So why not use the same means to make ilm accessible to those who are seeking it? So this is the intention, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ikhlas, and may Allah allow us, give us tawfiq to be steadfast on it, continue, inshallah, and accept whatever effort is made by anyone that's involved, inshallah. So the ilm program, just regarding ilm and the manners in which it's studied, and more about that will come in the sessions that are going to follow, inshallah. But just regarding the program that we're doing, it's a 7-year part-time program, and the way it's structured, the syllabus document, it's not something that we publish or we share or we send anymore. We used to we used to update it, and the updated version we would forward it to our students, but we don't do that anymore. And the reason is because we found ourselves constantly, or quite regularly, quite regularly updating it. It's a live, living, breathing document, and we update it quite regularly because we're always learning about our students. We're learning about our students are unique. They're not like, a 16-year-old group of boys or girls. So we're in a unique situation. Our timings are unique. The way we are teaching and learning is also unique. So the way our syllabus has to be, it also has to be, has to be according to the situation. So that's why, because of all this updates and regularly updating the syllabus, we don't share it, because maybe the student has a version which is outdated, and they think it's current, and they're expecting to study a book in a certain year, which is not there anymore, or maybe so on and so forth. So it just causes confusion. So what we do now is we tell the students verbally, this is what's coming, and through meetings like these during class, if there is an update, we we present it, and so on and so forth. The first 3 years of our 7-year program is focused on Arabic. Now, Arabic is not just, it's more than just a language. It's the language of Quran and Hadith. And there's a lot of different dynamics to the language. It's not just speaking and listening. What we focus on here in our institute is, because the goal at the end of the day is to understand قال الله وقال الرسول, to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying and what the Prophet said. So to understand Quran and Sunnah. Therefore, the way we approach Arabic is, our goal is for the student is to become independent researchers. Independent, you should be able to solve, doesn't matter how difficult the text is, okay, without any harakat or without any, diacritical notes, you should be able to solve the text independently on your own. Okay, so this is the actual goal. It's not to conversate, in a local dialect, or, it's not to, or, there's other goals of learning languages. That's not the goal. The goal here is to become independent researchers, inshallah. We should become competent scholars and students of knowledge, so that we're able to, work our way around books, classical texts. So we've structured it keeping that in mind. So in terms of Arabic, there's a lot of Arabic sciences, 8, 9 sciences, including, grammar and morphology, rhetoric, and so on and so forth. So we try to cover those in the first 2 or 3 years, along with, of course, other subjects that usually or are supposed to occur in those years as well, traditionally in the madrasa system. For example, in the second year, we have, Mukhtasar al-Quduri, which is a 5th book. The goal of that book is not Arabic, although the book is in Arabic, but we still have it, even though it's not an Arabic focused subject, but we still have it because that book is supposed to be studied in that year. So, so yeah, in a nutshell. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding syllabus, just write the question down or just remember it, and just, inshallah, we can speak about it towards the end. I'll speak more about the syllabus when we look at the timetable, inshallah. Okay, so in terms of the teachers, I probably won't talk about, I won't talk in detail about the teachers, because I'll let them introduce themselves, inshallah, whenever you meet them in class and this week as well. But just in a nutshell, we have about 8 or 9 ulama, and about 4, excuse me. Okay, so about 4 or 5 alimat who teach with us, mostly from Melbourne and Sydney, I would say. Most of our teachers graduated from Melbourne in Darul Uloom College of Victoria. So they have an Alim course running there, 6-year Alim course. So most of us, we studied there. A lot of our teachers then went overseas to places like South Africa and Pakistan and other places as well to specialize in fiqh and other things. Alhamdulillah. So yeah. So regarding the timetable, you would have seen this sent in the Telegram group for the brothers. So this is the actual the subjects that you'll be doing, inshallah, in this semester. So Nahu is pretty much grammar, and this Tajweed it's a 6-month subject. So we have it right in the beginning of the course because we want our students, excuse me, we want our students to, right from the start, at least know how to read properly, recite Quran properly. So we want to fix their mistakes. They should know basic tajweed, at least that which is fard. Same with fiqh, fiqh, the basic fiqh especially. So this is not a high-tech fiqh Arabic subject. This is just plain and simple basic fara'id fiqh in English, just like you would get in any basic essentials course. So we go through the fara'id and the sunan of prayer, fasting, whatever's fard on a Muslim. We try to cover that in about 6 months through this particular subject. Actually, I'm just going to quickly mention that we used to have a I'dadiyya course, which just means preparatory course. It was a pre-alim course that you had to do for 6 months, and in that 6 months you got to know whether this is for you or not. But the course was excessively lengthy. It was 7.5, 8.5 year course. So what we did was we just included we included what was in that portion of the course. We just included it within the actual course itself. So we don't have that anymore. So now we start from February, whereas before we used to start from July. Anyway, over here, Medina Arabic volumes 1 and 2, very, very famous, very popular Arabic program. In fact, it's from what I know, it's one of the most widely used and widely accepted Arabic and one of the most successful Arabic programs that are out there, used in universities, schools. I know we also use it in our K-12 Islamic school that I teach at. We also use the Medina Arabic books over there. Sarf is an interesting subject, and it's interesting because you have nothing like it in English. Morphology, it's the way words change to make different meanings. So you get a word, and just by changing one aspect of the word, you get a totally different meaning. So just with one word, you can make hundreds and hundreds of other words just by changing patterns. So you'll learn and memorize tables and patterns, and yeah, in Sarf, inshallah. And I'm not going to go into too much detail in terms of the other years, but this is, as you can see, this is what our second year men's course looks like. They are doing all Qasas al-Nabiyyin, Hidayat al-Nahu, grammar. Adab is literature, fiqh, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll keep moving forward. Okay, likewise, the women's core, it's the same thing. Okay, obviously different teachers. and different timings as well, of course. All right, so where do you get the books from? I'll just go back. So the books that you would need to get are this book here. Basically, all of the books that are there in the first year, right? So Safar Tajweed, Tasheel Nahu, Medina Arabic volume 1 and 2, and Ilm Sarf volumes 1 and 2. That's all you need for now. I also recommend to get the Handswear Arabic English to Arabic dictionary. We also have that. We also sell that. But yeah, that's all you need for now anyway, for this year. And you can get those um, at our store. You're not forced to get it from here. You can get it from wherever wherever is easy from you. So if there's an easier way to get it, that's totally fine. Just some books might not be available. So right now we have everything in stock. Just the Tajweed book, we're just waiting for it. So give it hopefully another 2-3 days, and we should have it, inshallah. Okay. Okay. So what's the next slide? Okay, Q&A. All right. So what should you do next? So we have about 7 days till we start classes. So classes will start, inshallah, from next Monday. Until then, what should you do? Firstly, we advise that you should continue to attend all orientation sessions punctually, inshallah. This first one is important, but it's more housekeeping, and it's more of mundane things, in us introducing us about our the institute and how it works, operational matters, and so on and so forth. But what I would say is the next 4 sessions are more important. They're the most important sessions, in my opinion, because what happens is that in a full-time madrasa, in a full-time institute, knowledge is actually acquired. Real knowledge is actually acquired face to face, and with the suhbah and companionship of your actual teacher. And those of us that were fortunate enough to experience that and had the privilege, to be with our teachers, there's a lot of benefits, because we were with our teachers for 7-8 hours. In fact, I would say 12-13 hours a day, because we were there in the evenings as well. And in fact, we would go to their house and they would come over, and if we were late for class, we lived so close to the madrasa, my teacher would come knocking on the door. It was literally like a family. So we got a very close up view, and we experienced our teachers very, very close up, and we saw their lives, how they live, how a scholar and a student of knowledge lives, how a student of knowledge and a scholar speaks to people, how they behave, how they act, their temperaments, how they are in gatherings, how they get angry, how they react. So these are all things. These are things that shape a person. These are things that you take from your teachers, and we're the product of what our teachers left us with, and we took from them. Now the thing is, with our course and the nature of our course, we face a challenge of our students being able to access our teachers in that close way. So to, I guess, mitigate the loss of this, and to lessen the I guess the damage, or that's why we try to put some measures in place or some steps in place just to minimize the effects of that. That's why we have this orientation sessions to give you perspective on what it actually means to be a student of knowledge. What does it mean to be a seeker of knowledge? Should you be entitled to that label? Because really the thing is, before you even start, before you even do your first lesson, you should know, you should have the gravity and the magnitude of the path that you're on in your heart. Okay. Otherwise, what we see is students who don't know that, or who don't appreciate, or who don't have that in their heart, then unfortunately they don't value it. They don't value it. And we've seen many students of knowledge in the past, while I was studying, until now we see those that don't have value for this in their heart, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaces those people, with others. So we don't want to be one of those that gets replaced. We don't want to be a replacement, So we want to be one of the ones who are accepted by Allah. So we should always, as it says here in step number 3, ask for acceptance. Always ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept you, inshallah. For that, obviously, you give sadaqah, increase your nawafil, and so on and so forth. So this week, as I said, attend those sessions, get your books. If hopefully the invoice email will come this week as well. The online learning environment is another topic on its own. We couldn't fit it into this session because it's not ready yet. So once it's ready in a day or two, you will receive those emails as well. And hopefully we can just make a quick Zoom recording video of how to use that platform, and we can just share it with you that way. Instead of having another live Zoom session, we can just record that session and just show you that, this is our online learning environment. This is where you find the class recordings. This is how you get help, and so on and so forth. So I think my part's finished here. So if there is any questions, please feel free to raise your hands. I'll unmute you, inshallah. Or if you feel it's easier to type, then you can just use the chat as well.
Ustad Abbas.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Just a question that the class is it going to be from Monday to Friday, or how many days in a week?
The classes are Monday to Thursday. From the men's classes are 7:30 to 9:30.
Okay, so between that we'll get a Maghrib prayer break as well, right?
Yeah, so obviously, we say 7:30 to 9:30, but the thing is, we've seen every year, especially in summer, we get Maghrib during that time. So we break for Maghrib, and we continue after Maghrib. And then in winter, 7:30 is, I think it's Isha. So sometimes we even pray Isha then start. So we say 7:30, but it's possible that the teacher might ask you that we're starting 7:45 today because of Salah, or we're starting 8 o'clock, or maybe the teacher wants to start at 7 o'clock because it makes more sense, maybe because Maghrib is at, I don't know, 7:45 or something, and then, so it really depends on what time of the year it is, and it depends on, the teacher as well, and depends on the day and what's happening. So just have a rough idea of 7:30 to 9:30, and yeah.
And I think all the messages would be there on the Telegram platform, right?
Yeah. So all of that communication in terms of class time, class starting, if anyone's late, if the teacher's late, or if all of those things, day-to-day, chats and communications will be on Telegram class group for men, and for the women, it's on WhatsApp class group.
Jazakallah khair.
I just have a question here. Some of us have already been learning Arabic from elsewhere in the past. Do we have to unlearn the other way and just focus on the method here, or we continue learning from elsewhere too? Okay, so how I would respond to that is, if you are learning doing any other Arabic course right now, then we're not going to stop you from doing anything else, but just make sure you understand and you learn what's needed for our course, then you should be fine. Okay. There's one brother who is doing his Masters of Classical Arabic, and he can do his Masters if he wants. It's not a problem. We're not going to stop him from doing his Masters of Classical Arabic, and yeah, it's fine. The timings are different for The timings are different for ladies and gents. So the sisters classes are from 10 to 12 in the morning. So 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Melbourne/Sydney time. Yeah. I think that's all the questions. Does anyone have any other questions? No questions. Okay, I think we've answered everything then. I'll just quickly show you one or two things. Just